أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the birth anniversary of the Commander Faithful, Imam Ali alayhi salam, I congratulate you all for this happy occasion, asking Allah Almighty to bless such a day and enable us to learn more about our Imam, our guide, and the one who really continued the message of Islam, after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in its pristine way. Let us imagine that we are carrying a digital camera, sending it back 14 centuries ago to see parts of the life of this great Imam. Indeed, we need nowadays to learn more about the Imam, to follow his steps, act upon his instructions and guidance, and promote all the moral values that he promoted and taught us, and consider that as one of our duties all the time. First of all, I look at Imam Ali alayhi salam in very early days of Islam, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is inviting his relatives, the children of Abdul Muttalib. According to reports, they were 40 plus 1 minus 1, and told him that now I've been appointed by Allah Almighty to the good of this world and hereafter. I'm inviting you to take part in this mission, and promise you that who is going to assist me, support me, will be my brother, the executor of my will, and my successor. So all failed to respond, and the only person, a very young one, the youngest amongst them, and that was Imam Ali alayhi salam, who stood up and said, "Oh Allah's Messenger, I am more than happy to support you, to work with you, and that is my honor." And that time, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I see in my camera that focusing on that point, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling all his relatives that, look, this is Ali, who is my brother, who is the successor and the executor of my will. In another occasion, I see that the Kaaba, the holy mosque of Mecca, on the roof, there are idols. They are tied to the ropes and pillars there. And according to the pagans, they were idols, they were worshipped. People would think that some sort of deity, some sort of extraordinary position is for these idols. Yes. And now I see that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, accompanied by Ali, going there. And first of all, Ali helps the Prophet to go on his shoulder and climb the wall of the Kaaba to reach the roof that wasn't as high as it is now. Yeah? And the Imam says that it was so heavy and I could not bear that. It wasn't the body, no, the heavy weight of the Risala, the message. So the Prophet ﷺ said, now it is my turn. I sit, you climb on my shoulders and go to the roof. And he did. And all photographs and reporters who are making all these illustrations tell us that Ali worked very, very hard to uproot and break all the idols, throw them to earth as being the sign of from today no one is going to worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is the real meaning of monotheism. The monotheism means that not to associate with Allah anyone else, not to believe in idols, neither idols nor anyone else, to have a role in creation, provision, or running the whole life. In another occasion, I see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to migrate, to leave Mecca after all the plots of those disbelievers to assassinate him, to get rid of him, to put an end to this message. So the Prophet comes to Ali. Oh Ali, I'm going to leave, but I am instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that tell you to lie down in my bed and I go safely. So the only thing that Imam Ali alayhi salam does is that if I do that, are you going to be safe? And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, yes, Allah promised me that if you do this, I will be safe. He said that I am ready to sacrifice myself, to risk my life in order to find you safe, reaching your destination. And really, that is great debt. All Muslims throughout generations are indebted to that readiness of Imam Ali alayhi salam to sacrifice his own life in order to protect and make sure that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam remains safe. In another occasion, I see that all in Medina, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is leading the prayers in the holy mosque of Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara. A beggar comes to ask for help and assistance, but no one assists him. He insists without any good result. So unsuccessful, he was going to leave when Ali again is in ruku', bowing down, and he pointed out to his finger to that beggar. He, the beggar, knew that it is indication and permission for him to go and take the ring. So he took that ring from the finger of Ali alayhi salam during Salat, and here we see immediately as Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, the great Sahabi of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that I did not see this incident and we were not finishing that whatever event unless Jibreel came down with this ayah, إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. So the full and complete and absolute authority is with Allah. Then after Allah, it is granted to his last and final messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And after that, the one who was praying and paid charity whilst he was doing ruku'. Another occasion, I see that in every day and night, Ali is accompanying the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the extent that no single, and this is all brothers and sisters, it is not my claim, it is not an illustration or photo which some Photoshop or changing the fact was there, no faking report. It is what? Well documented in hundreds of sources which are highly respected by all Muslims, not only the Shias. Yes, those who want to make research about that, they may find, and definitely they find, that hundreds of sources like Al-Mustadrak al-Sahihain, like Sunan Abi Dawood, like Musnad ibn Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and many others to approve about these authentic narrations. Okay? So, to the extent that no single ayah was sent down to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but Ali was there, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was teaching Ali as the first student, whether it was day or night, whether it was in Mecca or in Medina or in between the road here and there or any other circumstances. The moment that people, companions, Muslims are leaving to the battle of Tabuk, the Prophet ﷺ in this battle, which was supposed to be with the Byzantine, towards the end of his life, we see that the Prophet ﷺ preparing all to leave towards Tabuk. But he left Ali. Whilst in every occasion he used to take Ali with him as the warrior, as defender of Islam, as someone who never accepted, no one met the challenge that he would make. But in this occasion, going to Tabuk, the Prophet ﷺ tells Ali to remain in Medina. So Ali now says that I could not stop my tears in my eyes. That's why the Prophet is doing that. And the Prophet ﷺ smiled and said, Ali, don't you want, are you not pleased that you become the same status and position that Harun had towards Musa alayhi salam? So, أنت مني بمنزلة هارون من Musa, which means that we read in the Quran, in Surah number 7, Ayah 142, وواعدنا موسى 30 ليلة وأتممناها بعشر فتم ميقات ربه 40 ليلة وقال موسى لأخيه هارون أخلفني في قومي. So when the Prophet Musa went to Mount Sinai in order to meet his Lord, what happened? For 30 nights, 40, according to the ayah, yeah, it was initially it was 30 nights, was extended to 40. But when Musa left, he said to his brother Harun, Ukhlifni, be my Khalifa, be my successor. So now I see that in a very clear words, the Prophet ﷺ tells Ali that you are the successor. You have the same position that Harun had in relation to Musa alayhi salam. There are hundreds of good and nice illustrations, pictures I can find. about the life of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And all of you brothers and sisters, if you do research in all authentic and well recognized sources of history, tafsir, and hadith, you will see that there is no single companion had the distinctions, the merits, the positions that Imam Ali alayhi salam had. So, on the 13th of Rajab, we all celebrate the birth anniversary of this great Imam, this great personality, this great person who gathered all good meanings, good moralities, good teachings, good behavior, good conduct. Everything is summarized in him. And when we celebrate his birth anniversary, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to learn from him, to be good followers, good Shias. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.